My name is Valerian. I'm founder and CEO of PopChest, and we are building the Pop Network, a video distribution platform that has no ads and no subscriptions, built atop Ethereum and BitTorrent. We want to connect every device, from your mobile phone all the way to your smart TV, to create a universal, commercial-free, peer-to-peer video network. So another way to visualize it is that we put an Ethereum payment channels wallet inside of a television, so now anyone can create a global decentralized television network. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot to absorb. It's kind of crazy, actually. And the other crazy thing is that it's actually working right now. Today we're announcing that deployed on Ethereum testnet is our fully decentralized video distribution platform, which you can see at our booth. So the question I'm sure you're asking is, decentralized video, who cares, really? And the reality is we all should care. In the next year, 80% of all internet traffic is going to be video. And as the big push for Web 3.0, the new decentralized internet happens, you're not going to get there unless you figure out how to truly decentralize video. A lot of big projects. Russ Hanneman, he's all over this one. At the same time, you've got a completely changing media world. My background is in television distribution for the last decade. Been working on major network television shows, and everyone's freaking out. You have all of these new guys like Snapchat and Facebook and YouTube, and those are now the big guys, and the old big guys are freaking out because now they have all this new competition, so their solution is to get bigger. So, dirty little secret, there's pretty much 6 companies that control the vast majority of what we see. And soon that's going to be 5 when Disney merges with Fox. Now, as much as I want to see X-Men and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, having that much concentrated control in such few hands, that's not good. And we've seen this story before, right? We've seen it with the banks, how local banks became regional banks, became national banks, became too big to fail. And at the end of 2008, 2009, we had the chancellor on the brink of a second bailout for the banks, right? That's what created Bitcoin. So hopefully, before we get to that point with media, the Pop Network will give us a true alternative. So that is the fight, and it is a fight. You saw it at the beginning just now with net neutrality. It's the fight between a truly decentralized internet that empowers us as individuals versus the inevitable consolidation of control of the media. And if you don't believe that that's still possible, look what's been happening in the politics of America over the last couple of years. So we believe that the web was meant to empower us as individuals. And with the Pop Network, we want to make that happen again. So not all is lost. We've got a bunch of good things happening for us, which is the macro trend towards hyper-customization, right? Everything a la carte, on demand, pay-as-you-go, personalized just for you. And in the Pop Network vision of the future, media will be like that as well. But to get there, we got a lot of work to do. We need new types of content, niche content specialized for every individuality possible. We need new economic models. Advertising, subscriptions, mass market economics just don't work when it comes to the long tail of content. And most importantly, we need a new kind of thinking, right? We can't continue to accept the status quo as truth when, in actuality, most of the time, it's just inertia. When you whip out your $1,000 phone and want to watch a 2-minute video and you have to watch a 30-second video before that 2-minute video, why is that? It's because that's the model we took from television. Well, why is that? It's because that's the model they took from radio. The first pre-roll ad came on the radio in 1922. So here we have an industry worth hundreds of billions of dollars basically coasting on the same model for 100 years. There has got to be an alternative, and that's what the Pop Network is all about. So Ethereum and BitTorrent. All right, let's drill down and geek out a little bit. So when we say Ethereum, we mean ERC20 payment channels. And when we say BitTorrent, we really mean WebTorrent, which is an in-browser peer-to-peer streaming mechanism. So you want to watch a video. You can buy POP tokens and send those directly to the content creator. Pretty straightforward. But as you start digging in and go a little bit deeper, that's where the fun starts. Let's say you don't have tokens and you're not going to ever buy any tokens. You can dedicate your computing resources. You can do all the things that centralized services do. We can provide those services to one another. You can encode video. You can stream video. You can share video, store video. And in return, the network values your contributions and gives you tokens. Now, that sounds like a lot of transactions. And when you have a lot of transaction, everything explodes. It's kind of fitting that the web sort of was born out of cat videos, and now the future of the web is in peril because of cats. So you see why it's so important to have scalable transactions. That's why we're investing in payment channels. And the short version of payment channels is you interact with the blockchain very minimally, to open a channel, to close a channel. But once that channel is open, you can have theoretically thousands of transactions back and forth. For every video that you watch, you can send the simplest, smallest mechanism of cryptocurrency. And then when you're done, you close out, completely taking so much burden off of the blockchain. So not only do you need peer-to-peer payments, for it to work, you need peer-to-peer media sharing. So we know this model. This is the control and command that we're used to. But with WebTorrent, we can have a peer-to-peer system without any downloads, without any extensions, work straight in the browser. So if I start watching a video and you want the same video, I can start sending you packets, and you start sending me micropayments, and now we've got two people on the video, and then you and you and you want to watch, and all of a sudden we've got this peer-to-peer swarm of media sharing, completely negating the need for a central authority in between. So those two things, payment channels and WebTorrent. PopChest is sponsors of the open source projects for each of these things. Payment channels with Vinos Technology, Machinima, and SpankChain. And also with WebTorrent, we're the premier sponsors with the Brave Basic Attention Token and Brave Browser. So one of the things that we want to get to as we evolve, you can think of the site that we currently have, popchest.com, as the reference implementation. So at the beginning of Bitcoin, you had Bitcoin QT, which was, okay, you want to build a wallet, start here and work your way out. Ultimately, there were hundreds or hundreds of different Bitcoin wallets, and we want to have hundreds of different networks spring out on top of the POP network. Popchest.com is the beginning. And one of our philosophies is that we want to try to make things as familiar as possible. This is a lot of new technology, a lot to absorb. So as much as we can make something familiar and push it out from there, that's our plan. So you can almost think of this video site, even the wallet itself, it's kind of like an in-browser MetaMask. You can open channels, you can close channels, all the transactions that you have in between, and it's all based inside the browser. So by doing that, that means things like the Amazon Fire TV, things like Chromecast, any kind of in-television device, we can get there and connect them to all of your devices that have a simple web browser installed. And one of the other things about micropayments, particularly with Ethereum, this is a really small box, but it's got so much big potential. One of the blockers, really, for micropayments has always been what are called mental transaction costs. Such a tiny amount is being transacted, you have to think about it too much, and then you just don't end up doing anything. So now, with blockchain technology and smart contracts, we can codify a lot of those behaviors, put them into smart contracts, and really have programmable money with Ethereum in a way that Bitcoin has never been before. So how does this look in practice? So with popchest.com, content creators are using it right now, and we're starting to make real change in real people's lives just by changing the existing business model. So here's an example. Rosie McMichael, she's a cosmetologist, a makeup artist. She does all of her videos in Spanish, and because of that, advertisers value her audience less than if she were an English speaker. But look at those numbers, 2.9 million subscribers. I used to edit television, The Real World for MTV, and on a good week, we'd get like 2.5 million people watching it. So she's pulling amazing numbers, she's not making anywhere near what that show was budgeted at. So we gave her the tools, very simple tools, to be able to upload, encode, and share the video with her followers, and then they could come to her site on popchest.com and throw her a digital quarter. And we got 8,000 people sending 25 cents for her to make $2,000 on one video, when normally she would make $200. So those are the kind of tools that we're able to give to people and really functionally change what it is that they're doing. So I'm sure you're probably thinking, okay, this is kind of nice, it's fun, but YouTubers, whatever. That's the start. That's the thing that looks like a toy. But let's kind of extrapolate this into a more industrial use. So how many people are no longer cable subscribers? I ditched my DirecTV a couple of years. Okay, you don't want to bill. You're basically paying for stuff that you're not watching. So what's the point? And when you do the math, for every hour that you watch of television, commercial television in particular, you're only really watching about 40 minutes. It's 20 minutes of commercials. And your value is about 15 to 20 cents to the advertisers. So if I make you that deal, you know what? Can you just throw 15 cents to the content creators and never have to watch commercials again? Most people, I imagine, would do that, but you would need a system, right? That you could send tiny amounts of money across the internet. So it's that idea that we've been presenting in front of the cable industry. The cable industry is losing people like us to the tune of 1 million people per quarter. That's a lot, and it doesn't end well for them. And they know that. So as they've sort of kind of come to that realization, there are different conferences around the world where basically the cable industry has R&D consortiums that go out and say, okay, find the technologies that are going to kill us in the next decade, help us understand them so we can put them in play and live to fight another day. One of them is Cable Labs, which is the epicenter of North American cable, and in Hangzhou, China, the Global Cable Innovation Summit, home to Alibaba, where the biggest cable companies in Asia generally are at. So we were able to present our micropayment solution to both of those with the very functional purpose, right? To solve a very particular problem, but doing it in such a way that it fundamentally reinvents how people consume media in the new age. So that's a big goal, right? It's a very big task, and thankfully we've got an A-list team on the project. We're based in Los Angeles, Santa Monica, California. Our team has a history inside the entertainment industry on an industrial scale, and we have the premier expert, really, in Ethereum payment channels working on the project as well. So if you'd like to know more about what we're up to and get updates, popchest.com/token. We just opened our Telegram group, so please come join us there. And come out to see us at our booth. We've deployed this on testnet, and it'd be great to share it with you in person. Thank you so much. And if anything, looking at this crowd, 2018 is going to be one heck of a year for crypto. Thank you.